It was a humid morning in Leopoldville when the radio crackled with a promise of independence and the shadow of a coming storm. June 30, 1960, the Belgian Congo became the Republic of Congo. In the celebratory hubbub, Patrice Lumumba, the newly appointed Prime Minister, spoke of unity, dignity, and true sovereignty. He was young, electrifying, and unacceptable to many who counted on the colony's resources. Belgian officials, the powerful Union Miniere mining conglomerate, and Cold War strategists in Washington who feared a nationalist government leaning towards the Soviets. The context mattered. Belgium had ruled for decades, extracting copper, uranium, and wealth while training almost no Congolese administrators. When the empire unraveled overnight, chaos followed. Army mutinies, sectarian violence, and the northern province of Katanga breaking away under Moise Tshombe by August 1960, backed by Belgian interests anxious to protect their mines.
As the situation unraveled, Western intelligence agencies moved in. Declassified documents and testimony from participants show a chilling pattern. The CIA and Belgian security services explored every method to neutralize Lumumba. In Washington, President Dwight D. Eisenhower's administration feared that Lumumba's appeal and his overtures to the Soviet Union would flip a strategically crucial nation. The CIA drew up plans, from covert propaganda campaigns to proposals for assassination. Station Chief William R.A. Larry Devlin later admitted CIA officers discussed plans to remove Lumumba. Declassified memos reveal consideration of poisoning and engineered coups. In September 1960, Colonel Joseph Mobutu, backed by Western intelligence and local forces, staged a coup and sidelined Lumumba. He was placed under house arrest, escaped briefly, then was captured in late 1960. In January 1961, the precise conspiracy reached its darkest act. Lumumba was flown to Katanga, now a breakaway state where Belgian officers and Union Miniere had direct influence.
On January 17, 1961, he was executed by Katangese authorities. Belgian officers were present at the scene. Evidence and later inquiries indicated they had played a role in his transfer and interrogation. His body was secretly buried, some accounts say dissolved, and his remains never returned to his family, adding to the sense of a cover-up. The explanation of the conspiracy is twofold: political and economic. Politically, Western powers, especially the United States and Belgium, feared a Congo aligned with the Soviet bloc during a fragile phase of the Cold War and were willing to back coup plotters to prevent it. Economically, corporate actors and Belgian colonial agents wanted to maintain control over Katanga's mineral wealth. These motives converged in clandestine operations, diplomatic pressure, and ultimately in complicity with local forces that executed Lumumba. For decades, the story was muffled, documents classified, witnesses reluctant, facts buried in diplomatic archives. But in the 1970s and again in the 1990s and 2000s, declassified CIA files, testimonies from former operatives, and Belgian parliamentary inquiries peeled back layers of denial. The revelations did not rewrite everything. Debates continue over intent and direct orders, but they made clear that Western governments were far more involved than earlier public accounts admitted. The consequences were immediate and lasting. The murder of a unifying nationalist removed a potential alternative path for the Congo. Joseph Mobutu consolidated power, eventually becoming Mobutu Sese Seko, governing for decades with Western tolerance amid corruption and repression. the Congo would slide into chronic instability, exploitation, and conflict whose reverberations continue to the present day. This is not myth. It is an instance where geopolitics, corporate interest, and covert action intersected with catastrophic human cost. The assassination of Patrice Lumumba remains one of the 20th century's starkest examples of how Cold War calculus and old colonial greed conspired to extinguish a nation's brightest hope, and how, even decades later, the search for truth presses on.